Until then, I'll be watching you. I'll be watching you.
Picture this, it's 2012 and you're religiously watching two Cartoon Network bangers back to back, Adventure Time and Regular Show. But unfortunately, you would eventually hit a dead end. When are the next episodes coming out? Regular Show and especially Adventure Time went on some really long hiatuses. So now I needed a new cartoon show to watch, but I wasn't really looking all that closely. Until one day, I randomly came across this image on 9gag. Now this looks like a regular old image of a cartoon, right? Until you navigate toward the right and you notice a specific character staring right back at you. What on earth is Slender Man doing in a cartoon? Being the 9-year-old I was, I believed it, and I wanted to watch the show for myself to see if he was actually there. What was this show? The one and only Gravity Falls. This is up there with one of the most iconic theme songs for any show. You get introduced to the main characters, and you even see some of the scary monsters they would encounter later in the show. Now finally, let's begin watching the show. Wait, what was that? I wasn't the only one who saw that, right? One more time, really slowly. Okay, what on earth is this show? I remember when I first saw the glimpse of this symbol and I lost my mind. I straight up thought the Illuminati took over Disney and it was all over. You remember that American dollar bill. What was that doing in a kid's show? On top of that, look at all the crazy writing in the symbols. It's so mysterious. Needless to say, that hooked me even deeper into the show. Oh yeah, on top of that, you know the whispering that occurs at the end of the intro? Well, what happens if you reverse that? You hear someone saying, this is the main cipher used to decode the codes at the end of each episode. Then there was that frame where if you pause at the exact right moment, you could spot Bigfoot. So much thought was put into the theme song alone. The first episode introduced the main mystery of the show. Who wrote this journal? Oh, the fan theories were spiraling. So already, you've got a banger theme song, cryptic messaging, and an ominous Illuminati symbol all in a kid's show. I have no idea how Alex Hirsch managed to get by the Disney censors, but he did it. And now I was excited to actually see Slender Man show up in a Disney show. Of course he didn't. Yeah, I mean, that's no surprise. Right? I mean, if the creator managed to slide in some Illuminati symbols in the show, trust me, almost everywhere, I wouldn't be all that surprised if Slender somehow made it. Each episode hit. Not a single one was weak by any means. Do you guys remember that episode with Blendin Blandin and how at the end he has to go back in time and fix Dipper and Mabel's mistakes? Well, if you watch those exact episodes again, the guy's always been there. Now let's move to the episode called Dreamscaperers. Up until this point, we hadn't got a solid answer on what this triangle with one eye thing was. That is until this episode. We get introduced to Bill Cipher, the main villain of the show. The guy was insane in the best way possible. Then we have to go into Stan's mind where we could see a bunch of hints for the future. Now let's back it up a little bit. So with the amount of secrets and codes in the show, there's one theory that everyone and their mother had from the get-go. Stan has a secret twin brother. Now, I'm not going to say I had this theory too. After all, I would just go on YouTube and watch Vale Skibum 94 decode all the secrets. Don't lie guys, you know you did the same. Now, Dreamscaperers is the episode that spawned a bunch of these clues. You had the broken swing set, the duplicate Stan in the boxing ring, in Carpet DM you had Stan looking at these glasses intently. On top of that, if we went back to the Bill Cipher wheel, you could see those exact glasses. The main theory was that Old Man McGucket was the author of the journals, and he, along with our Stan and his brother, worked together on the mysteries of Gravity Falls. Naturally, since his brother wasn't anywhere to be seen, we all thought that he had got stuck inside the portal that we see at the end of season 1. So just put this into perspective. Do you think a kid would be able to decode all the messages and pay attention to all the clues left in the show? Most definitely not. You even had to watch those shorts that had a piece of paper flash on the screen, which, if combined, foreshadowed the Society of the Blind Eye. Oh yeah, that episode where Alex Hirsch trolled us by putting out this image beforehand. Eventually, we get to Not What He Seems, a title that has been foreshadowed since the birth of the first episode. See this code right here? It spells out, Stan is not what he seems. Now, a month before this episode came out, a new theory surfaced, and I really wish my dumbass didn't go watch the video on it. This theory proposed that not only did Stan's brother exist, but that he was the author of the journals. Was it a stretch? I mean, apparently not. Despite all of this, I still jumped out of my seat in disbelief at the reveal. It was extremely satisfying, and as expected, a huge hiatus. Anyways, the show began to ramp up in the 3-part series finale titled Weirdmageddon. Which, before this, left us on one of the most dark credit sequences I've ever seen. Just take a look at this. I remember finishing this episode and sitting on my chair staring into space after the credits finished. I was flabbergasted. All 3 Weirdmageddon episodes slapped, with the ending being extremely satisfying and bittersweet. Stan defeats Bill, gets his memory back, still think him getting it back was a bit too easy for me, and Dipper and Mabel go back home. The end. right? See, after the show ended, there have been a myriad of spin-offs in the form of books that had secrets in them revealing more stuff about the show's lore. After it ended, there was one more theory that I fully chose to believe. Dipper and Mabel and the Curse of the Time's Pirate's Treasure is a book that is apparently not canon, but Alex Hirsch is confirmed that there is one enormous canon secret, which is most likely this page. Dipper and Mabel come across this cosmic entity known as the Axolotl, and he spits out a cryptic poem. Now let's go back to the ending of Weirdmageddon, where Bill is about to die. In classic Gravity Falls fashion, reverse this scene. So this quote by Bill directly references these lines from the Axolotl. So what does this mean? Bill is asking this thing to reincarnate him into something else, to quote unquote make up for his past actions. Now throughout the show, there are some questionable similarities between Bill Cipher and Grunkle Stan. Take this.
I'd fire all of you if I could. Alright, let's make it eeny, meeny, miny, you.
Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny.
Or during the hunt for the real-life Bill Cipher statue, there is a message that had Stan singing, "We will meet again," just like Bill did in Weirdmageddon. Also, the guy loves wearing the eye patch, making him have one eye. Is this theory a stretch? Maybe, but so was Stan's brother being the author in a way. There's just too much to support this. Now, on top of that, recently a new Gravity Falls book was released called The Book of Bill Cipher. As expected, it had some cool new secrets. So now the big question on everyone's mind is, will Gravity Falls return? In response to the sales of the book, Alex Hirsch said this.
Because it's done so well, and because the fans love it so much, and because the fandom has like exploded in all these ways I've never seen before, it's made everyone on my side, on Disney's side, on everyone suddenly stand up and say, hey, whoa, there's a bigger appetite for Gravity Falls stuff than we thought. What we do with that appetite, I'm not quite sure. But coming here, seeing all of you is giving me some thoughts, so that's all I can say.
Now, after hearing this, honestly speaking, it is only a matter of time before a new Gravity Falls project is greenlit. The question is, should the show come back? Here's the thing, the show ended perfectly. 2 seasons that barely had any issues with a complete and concrete main storyline that is all resolved by the end. Gravity Falls has only ever had one main villain, and that's Bill. If the show continued, would Bill just come back? Here's my take. I think Gravity Falls deserves a new and even better villain. It would stop the show from being repetitive and give it a fresh take. My deepest fear is the show coming back only for it to be a nostalgic cash grab generated by corporate greed. But given that Alex Hirsch has expressed that he's had ideas implemented within the main show in case he ever comes back, I'm sure he would bring it back with a bang. That or have it air on Adult Swim. Imagine how crazy things could get. Even if it never comes back, I would be completely happy. Because the show wasn't too short, nor was it too long, and it's a show that I can still come back to every now and then and enjoy it for what it is. So let's answer the question. Why is Gravity Falls so special? During this era, the main cartoons I was watching were Adventure Time, Regular Show, and Gumball. I've gone in depth as to why these shows are so loved, link in the description below, but Gravity Falls was special. It started off having a story planned out from the beginning. It didn't really have filler. Each episode tied back into the overarching narrative. Sure, Adventure Time had its lore, but it didn't start out that way. On top of that, I had never come across a cartoon that had such deep lore that it had watchers decode secrets and even reverse some clips. This is why I'm confident in saying that there will never be another show like Gravity Falls. It is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of this year, and I'd appreciate it if you could help me get there. Thanks for watching.